You ready?
Rolling.
Ready. Good evening. Into day 8. My God, what a day. 30 miles, mostly into a pretty good headwind. So we're happy to have 30 miles. Camped on a nice island just outside of Montezuma.
Diggs.
Yes.
Again with the clothesline.
Cameraman Libby on the job there. We're fed, we're camped. Honestly, about ready to call it a night, but
Yep.
since I'm getting my map set up for tomorrow, thought, you know what, let's do our video on navigation we've been talking about. So our primary source of information on the trip is a publication called the Wabash River Guidebook. And it's available from a company named River Lorian, and I'll put a link in the description or in the comments somewhere. And they have guidebooks for the Wabash, for the White River, the Ohio River, the Illinois River, lots of big rivers. And the author's name escapes me at the moment, but he traveled these rivers, did the guidebooks. The original publications, I think, have some age, but they've done a really good job of keeping them updated. So if you zoom in here, what they give me, the whole river is broken down into sections, and there are 37 sections, I believe. This particular section out of Montezuma, we are camped on this island right here where Big Raccoon Creek dumps in at mile 272. And it's not that you need a map to not get lost on the river, because as long you're not going to take a wrong turn in Albuquerque. Bugs Bunny reference. But it's important to know where you're at for a couple reasons, so that you don't get into a point of no return situation, so that you can let the people back home know where you're at. Every evening I send my wife a text. We did this many miles. We're camped tonight at river mile 272. She has a copy of the map at home on her phone. The other important thing is that it has notations on places where you can get supplies. For example, here in Montezuma, it tells us that supplies are easy to access from the bridge. There's a steel stairway next to the bridge that leads up into town. And lo and behold, there's a steel stairway on the downstream side of the US 36 bridge. And shout out to the Montezuma Fish and Game Club, who they own the property at the top, and I presume they installed and maintained it. But not only did they have that resource there for the river travelers, they also welcomed us in to fill our water jugs with some nice cold water and a few minutes in the air conditioning. So good on you, boys. Thank you. So not only do we have the maps, and I'll sit down every day and I'll sort through the sections we need, and I keep them sequential. I have a two-sided map case, so we're going to start on 21, 22's next, and 23's after that. So those will go in my map case because they're no good if they're wet.
Soaking wet.
And these are just printed off on our computer, nothing special. The other resource, and it's equally as valuable, I am a big believer in Onyx Hunt. I've used Onyx in several different states. I use it when I hunt, I use it when I fish. And the thing that Onyx is good for here, I can leave waypoints and mark them as a reference for future discussions, campsites, access, points of interest. But it also has a tracker function. And so first thing in the morning, I start a track, and it tells us how many miles we've gone. Now it usually runs a little long for the map because of meandering back and forth to stay out of the wind, to catch the current, but it's pretty spot on. And that is a really good reference, especially on sections that are kind of featureless. You know, we've gone through a couple of different map pages where the only real features are bends in the river and a creek coming in. So this helps us keep our place on the maps, and if for some reason there's an emergency, I can hit a waypoint and it'll give me the GPS coordinates that we can pass along to our loved ones. We can pass it along to emergency responders, whatever we need. So I don't carry an InReach or a Zoleo or anything like that, but between the map and Onyx, and you can't hardly go anywhere without cell service. So that's got us covered. So that's how we're navigating. That's how we know where we're at. And it's as simple as that. I'll put a link to River Lorian in the comments or in the description or someplace, and you can check it out for yourself. If you're a canoeer or a kayaker and you want to work some of these bigger waters, it's a invaluable resource. So we're about ready to wrap it up. We're about ready to clean up, put stuff away, and get ready for bed so we can do this all again tomorrow. Y'all have a good evening. We'll see you next time.